would you use?
Spoilers.
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 Spoilers. Spoilers. Spoilers.
I like that word.
I thought you might.
Hello everyone and welcome to another Top 10. So today I will be discussing my Top 10 companions, but just before I start I would like to reaffirm that these lists only refer to my personal choices and my personal opinions and do not represent the opinions and ideas of others. As such, some people might find that their favourite companions are not ranked very highly or may not even appear on this list at all. So please remember that these Top 10 lists speak for no one but myself. They are made up of my favourite Top 10s and nobody else's. Number 10, Sarah Jane Smith.
Doctor, let's get a few things straight, shall we?
I'm afraid you're going to be awfully confused if you ask me to explain about the TARDIS.
No doubt many more people would have put Sarah Jane close to their number one spot. However, for me, I do feel she is a little overrated at times, particularly in her classic series appearances. However, with Liz Sladen's return to the Sarah Jane adventures, something which I only got into in recent years, I did gain a new appreciation for her work in the classic series. And as possibly one of the most popular classic companions of all time, no top 10 companions list would be complete without her. Number 9, Rose Tyler.
I'm the Doctor, by the way. What's your name?
Rose.
Nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life.
In recent years, I've noticed a lot of dislike generated towards Rose's character, in particular in regards to her relationship with the Doctor. However, for me personally, I think that's partly what makes her character great. Billie Piper's portrayal of Rose was just as instrumental as anything else in the new series, with helping an updated audience engage with a show they knew very little about. And I think her ordinary, everyday character being swept up into this whirlwind of sci-fi does this very well. In regards to the romance, I again think it worked very well because it helped engage the newer audience who expect romance and things like that in TV shows today. And whilst I think the later series always trying to crowbar in some kind of romance was unnecessary, the inclusion of it in Rose's character certainly helped bring new life to a television show once again in its infancy. Number 8, Ace.
Do you fancy a quick trip round the 12 galaxies and then back to Perivale in time for tea?
Ace!
When it comes to classic female Doctor Who companions, it has to be said that a fair few of them often have their screaming damsel in distress moments at least once per episode, although some more than others. However, for me, Ace was a perfect representation of the strong female companion. She might have had her shout and scream moments at times, but unlike other classic companions, she never felt helpless in the character herself. More so much as being able to do things for herself, but from time to time needing a little bit of help getting out of tricky situations. Number 7, Romana 1.
The sooner we hand this over to the White Guardian, the better.
Whilst Mary Tam's stint as the first television incarnation of Romana was limited to only one season of the classic series, later being replaced by the equally talented Lalla Ward, although the characters would later go on to appear in Big Finish stories, the episodes in which she appeared managed to considerably flesh out the basis of her character and led to her becoming one of possibly the most popular classic companions of the time. Number 6, Donna Noble.
Donna Human, no!
Before Doctor Who, I was never a huge fan of Catherine Tate. I was aware of her work and found her comedy stylings very funny, but I think it's her role as Donna on Doctor Who that really gave her the chance to break through and extremely play well a serious moment while still being able to have comedic moments in contrast to her previous solely comedy work. However, for me, what makes Donna's character was something that Doctor Who was in much need of at the time. A best friend for the Doctor. Save for it being the butt of a few jokes,
Oh, no, we're not married.
We're so not married. Never ever.
there was never any kind of indication of any kind of romance going on between the Doctor and Donna. And it certainly helped draw the new series back to its classic roots, the Doctor and his mutual friend / travelling companion. Number 5, Clara Oswald.
I'm Clara Oswald. I'm the impossible girl.
Clara has received mixed views from fans over the years, and I have to say, whilst I think her romance with the 11th Doctor was a little unnecessary, and her conclusion leaves a lot to be desired, her involvement with the Doctor as the impossible girl, and her interaction with many different incarnations of the Doctor, certainly gave her character a range that will not only stick with the series for years to come, but also, I think, the fans. Number 4, Ian Chesterton and Barbara Wright.
One of our pupils, Susan Foreman, came into this yard.
A slight cheat here with number 3, as I couldn't choose between Ian and Barbara for the number 3 spot, but there is a very good reason for this. Whilst many people often cite Susan as the first companion, in regards to the television series, at least to me, Ian and Barbara will always be the first human companions. They very much represented the audience in this strange new world they find them in that is as new to them as it is to us. Everything they discover, we discover with them, and I think without them, the world of Doctor Who would have been very confusing to early audiences without relatable characters such as them. Number 3. Lucie Miller.
Lucie Miller.
Lucie Miller?
Yeah, that's my name. You asked, I'm telling you.
And that's it?
You want my middle names as well?
What? Have you got any?
That's for me to know and you to find out.
I've always been fond of Sheridan Smith as an actress, and as Lucie Miller, she was actually the first Big Finish companion I was introduced to when I listened to Blood of the Daleks. Lucie's tough northern attitude, mixed with her tragic, sometimes dark storylines with the Eighth Doctor, really suit the tone for an audio series, and for me provided much inspiration for my own audio series. While she has now left the Big Finish series, although she will be making a return soon in the form of some short trips, her minor mention in Night of the Doctor alongside other Big Finish Eighth Doctor companions means that if we ever did get an Eighth Doctor flashback episode, I would love to see Sheridan return as Lucie Miller on screen. Number 2. Captain Jack Harkness.
This is quite homoerotic.
Of the new series, Jack will always be the companion that remains closest to my heart. Whilst I don't wish to underestimate the talents of other actors and actresses who have been companions in the new series, Jack is the one that always had the most impact with me. Whilst I don't wish to underestimate the talents of other actors and actresses who have played companions in the revived series, Jack is the one who had the most impact with me. When he was introduced in 2005, I was wrestling with my own sexuality. Being 17, I was still in a place where I was uncertain of many things. I felt one way, or more to the point, more than one way, but my surroundings and those around me were telling me I should feel another way. However, suddenly I was introduced to this charming, attractive, charismatic character whose attitude of "this is who I am, deal with it," made me realise that I should just accept who I am for who I am. And as his character grew through more screen time and became an icon for the LGBT community, my confidence in myself as my sexuality of a bisexual male also grew. I'm sure some people might think that is a silly reason for picking him for the number 2 spot and that I should make my choices based more on what happens in the context of the show, but as I said at the start of this video, these top 10s are based solely on my own personal choices for my own personal reasons. And I think if we can learn anything from Jack, it's just because everyone is different. It doesn't mean we should do what they do or what they think or what they feel as wrong just because we don't feel the same way. Of course, with so many companions to choose from, there had to be a few honourable mentions.
Constance Clarke, how do you do?
Tim Hope, legal clerk.
Well, Tim Hope, legal clerk, you do know it's illegal to trespass on train tracks.
Constance, where are you?
Here, Doctor, I found a legal clerk.
She saved my life.
Yeah, she does that.
She stopped walking and thrust the barrel of her gun in the direction of the box, just in time to see a head emerge from the open hatch.
Oh, so waving a gun at me is the best thing to do in the circumstances, is it?
Well, Cinder thought for a moment, confused. Look, you're the one who's just fallen out of the sky.
And just as well that I did. I'd argue that my timing is impeccable.
Ah, right, yes. Bigger on the inside.
Do you like it? I thought it'd be cleaner.
Oh, it's ages since we've seen our planet. It's quite like Earth. But at night, the sky is a burnt orange.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Just tell me where we are, if you can.
Oh, child of little faith.
Number 1. Chameleon.
Welcome, my dear.
A choice that will no doubt be controversial to many. I know as he only had 2 appearances, many people forget or don't count him as a companion, but for me, Chameleon is the most underrated companion of all time. As I said, unfortunately he only appeared in 2 stories, one where he was introduced,
allow me to introduce Chameleon,
and another where he was killed. Off-screen, the reason for this was that the real robot prop that Chameleon was based on was notoriously unreliable and made filming extremely difficult. However, as he was a shape-changing robot and Chameleon's appearances in Planet of Fire's show where he is played by live actors, he could well have continued to be a companion in the series, albeit played mainly by a live actor. And I would certainly love today to see Chameleon return in some form. Perhaps his default form could be a CGI creation, whilst his main appearances in the show could be played by a live actor. or more than one. It would be a great way to introduce some guest stars who might not have a fully free schedule in order to film an entire series or an entire episode. And that brings to a close another of my top 10s. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, favourite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot, and be sure to check out the description below for a link to my Patreon. There is an exclusive webcomic and rewards to people who support it, and the funding generated by my Patreon helps me fund future videos. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.